Hey guys, I'm Katie Stevens.
I'm Aisha D.
And I'm Megan Fahey.
And we are from The
Bold Type.
And we are going to be answering our firsts.
Yeah.
I'm very scared. First celebrity crush.
Lance Bass. You know?
But I get
is
it.
it a problem that I don't know who Lance Bass is?
Yes,
Yes.
we can't use this. That's so offensive.
Who's Lance Bass?
NSYNC's best member. Lance, if you're hearing
She is
this.
not NSYNC.
Sorry, Lance. Okay, what's yours?
Mine is Leonardo DiCaprio. I had a real awakening watching the Romeo and Juliet with him and Claire Danes.
Yeah.
That scene in the pool.
Such a good movie.
So good.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
I don't know. Maybe it was a cartoon.
Weird, but go with it.
I feel like it was Jon Snow.
Oh, well then.
Pocahontas.
No, that's not
I was like, Jon Snow.
Wait, with John Smith.
First piece of advice you'd give someone who's trying to become an actor. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you never know what's going to lead you to what. So try everything. Within reason. Not compromising your morals.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say when you feel like giving up, don't, because that's normally like when something's gonna happen for you, is when you feel like you need to like quit.
If there's anything else in the world that you also feel passionate about, like make sure you're doing that as well.
As well, yes.
Yes.
In addition to.
In addition to, because you
Yeah.
don't know, like just like go where the wind is blowing you, because you
Yeah.
never know what passion it's gonna lead you into.
You can't put all your eggs in one basket. The first role you auditioned for that you really wanted but you didn't get.
Mine was like some random indie film that I never
It ended
saw.
up being Twilight.
Oh, I know what mine
you
was.
imagine?
I auditioned for a role on Nashville, and I got really far on it, like down to me and the other person, and the other person got it, and I was like devastated. And I remember it was the first time in a really long time that I like cried, like when you're a kid and you can't catch your breath.
Aww.
And
That's
because it was like
sad.
it was like right at my fingertips, and it was like the first thing in like 3 years of like going right, and then it didn't. But
It just
then,
feels so personal, you
but
know?
then 2 weeks later, I booked Faking It, which was why I didn't get that.
Booked it.
I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but my first ever job, the Saddle Club, I got it, and then 2 weeks before filming, they told me I didn't have it.
What?
Yeah.
Like they fired you and then they rehired you.
Yeah, they like called me to be like, we have to hire a Canadian, like, so sorry. And I was like,
In Australia,
so
isn't that expensive?
To like a 6-year-old.
obviously it worked out, but they ended up like writing a character for me.
First friend made in the industry. Mine would technically be the people that I did American Idol with.
The girl who I understudied in the Broadway show that I started out, that was my first job. Jen Damiano's her name.
I lived in a house with 2 of the girls from the Saddle Club, and we would all sleep in the same bed most nights.
Oh my god, you guys partied
And
so
our
hard.
chaperone would come in and she'd be like, you guys gotta sleep in the same bed, you have to be up at 6 a.m. And we'd be like,
That's sweet.
That's what being 12 is.
yeah, we're still super tight. Ari and Mani.
First piece of advice you remember getting from a women's magazine.
There was like something called Dolly Mag in Australia, and there was like Dolly Doctor. And people would write into Dolly Doctor, and it was like a sealed section. It was like people would ask about sex and
Ooh.
stuff. But I don't remember any specific advice from there. I guess I wasn't really paying much attention.
I remember getting advice to not sleep in a bra.
To spray perfume on your wrist before you go to sleep because it just like makes you feel sexy. You know?
I've never done
like
that.
a cute little self-care thing.
Cute.
Yeah, try it.
First thing you do when you have time off, sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep and lay on the couch with my dog and watch everything on Netflix.
And travel.
Ooh, first impressions of each other.
My first impression of Katie was that she was like very put together in a way that was like impressive to me. You know, she had like cute clothes and like her makeup was really cute. And that's still true about her too. She's
Yeah.
always like looking great.
If you're like, does anyone have a Q-tip? She's like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
She was like just talking about how she's hungry, and I was like, I have a Larabar and nuts and water. Yeah, I think I was like intimidated because you were both like really beautiful. And I was also intimidated because they had met each other before I got to meet them. And I was like, oh my god, what if they're best friends? Will they like me?
First job. Well, I babysat a lot in high school. And then I worked for my dad's company in like the stock room, sort of assembling things and soldering wire. It was very cool.
On my 16th birthday, my parents took me to dinner at this restaurant. And at the end of dinner with the check, they made the manager bring over a application for a job. So I applied for the job on Wednesday, which was my birthday, and had my first day of work as a busgirl at a restaurant on Friday.
That's amazing.
They were like, happy 16th birthday, here, you're getting a job.
I mean, the Saddle Club was my first job, but I was very young. But before that, I guess I worked in my grandpa's fish and chip shop.
That's so cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
I
would
want
like,
fish and chips.
we would hide in the freezer, me and my uncles and my aunties, we would hide in the freezer and like wait
Sounds
for
like a
someone to
horror movie.
open the door to get like an orange juice or whatever and be like,
Scare them.
First memory from filming the Bold Type pilot. I know my first full day was, I just had all day with Nicole, but I don't remember what we had the next day.
I mean, I think one of the nights that sticks out most to me from filming the pilot is the night that we shot in the subway in our fancy dresses.
Oh yeah, we were
Until the
delirious.
wee hours of the morning.
It was like
in
5
really,
a.m.
really high heels that we could not take off. My shoes were actually made of chains.
Yeah.
Like
I thought your
real
feet were
chains.
gonna fall off.
Yeah.
I vividly remember the scene where you're like going into the subway,
It's not really a
and it
subway.
wasn't really a subway, so she had to like fake that she was like
Going
walking
down.
the stairs.
But like really angry, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
like storm off, and it was hard because we were all supposed to be like, no,
back.
come back, and she just like it was just too funny.
it was great.
First celebrity you ever met? Technically, when I was 3 years old, I met Bob Hope, but I don't remember it. There's a photo of it.
Very
Which is
exciting.
amazing. When I was on American Idol, we were shooting at CBS, and I had to go in earlier than everybody else because I was underage and I still had to go to school. And my teacher goes, guys, Matthew McConaughey just walked into that bathroom. And I literally
Followed
booked
him
it.
in.
No, I booked it down the hallway and then jokingly was like, hey, everybody act natural. And I put my arm up against the wall like this, and he walked out in that exact moment. And I was like, hi.
He
He
remembers
was
it.
so beautiful.
He's thought about it
Yeah.
every day. I usually run away when I see them.
It's like very rare that Aisha will be like, I'm
Yeah.
a big fan.
No, I don't do it. I did actually a few weeks ago. Jay-Z walked past me and I saw his hair and I was like, oh, you're doing great. sweetie." Because, you know, for a while I wasn't sure about the hair. I was like, Jay-Z, what are you doing with your hair? And now I think it's
working.
great. He's thriving. I was so proud of him. I didn't say hi, but I did like admire his hair from a few feet away.
I don't remember the very first celebrity that I met, but I do remember meeting Taylor Swift before she was an icon. I mean, this was truly the beginning of her career. And she was like, I'm gonna be signing autographs and like meeting people out front, like come say hi. No one was even waiting in line to meet her. I like walked up with my mom and she was there with her mom. She had some award though at that point because her mom like handed it to me, was like, do you wanna hold it? And I was like, okay. She was so lovely, she hugged me and she was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And I was like, first embarrassing moment on a set.
I know yours.
You know mine?
I also know yours.
You do?
Yeah.
In the
It
middle
was
of
the day
a
I
scene.
cried.
No, you can't tell that story. And anyway,
Now
that's
you
not
have
the first
to.
embarrassing one. I peed my pants on stage once. That was really embarrassing.
We were doing a scene where we all had to bump into each other and juice goes
Oh.
everywhere. And they were like, we did it like 10 times, and I remember right before we did the last time, I was like, I'm gonna get hurt. Like, we're in heels running and like the floor is wet and stuff, and sure enough, I slipped and fell and tried to laugh it off, but then like started crying because I was so embarrassed. And also I was in pain because it hurt.
You really did go down hard.
You did so
And then
good.
they used that footage.
They didn't use footage of
Yes,
you
they-
on the floor.
Well, they didn't use
No, but
footage
they
of me
did
on the
use
floor,
the
but you
take
see
where
me
she fell.
going
Did they
down.
really?
Yeah, they did.
I don't think I've ever done anything embarrassing. I think I'm perfect all the time. No, honestly, I leave set most days and feel like a shade of embarrassment. And then like,
Let me give you a gift really quick.
Go ahead.
Go YouTube Aisha D, The Saddle Club.
Yes, please do that. There's music.
That's my gift.